Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. So, I apologize for the wait on this video. At the start of the year, I dealt with a sickness that pretty much killed my voice. If you watched videos last week, you would know that, yeah, it was not fun. So, regardless, my voice seems like it's getting back to normal, and now I'm ready for the longer length videos. So, this is now the time where we're going to do our December 2023 power rankings. So for those who don't know, I did these for October, I did these for November, and now we're doing them for December. So we're not going to waste any time here. We're just going to get straight into it. We're just going to go right into it because we have a lot to go through, and who knows, my voice might die halfway through this video, so we'll find out. But regardless, at number 32, staying at the same spot, I know that for sure, is the San Jose Sharks. The Sharks went 4-9-1 in December. Actually, their best month of the season. But they're 9-25-3 overall at the mark in December. Yeah. It's just, the same things to be said with San Jose. They're not good. They're last in the league. Maybe a video coming on them soon because they have lost 12 games in a row. So, yeah, that obviously plays a factor. But, there's not a whole lot to say there in regards to them because they were there last season. So it's not, or they were there last month. So it's not like anything's changed. Number 31, I believe they're in the same spot too, actually, is the Chicago Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are 4-9-2 in December for an 11-23-2 record. Another really bad month for Chicago. As expected, the only interest is Connor Bedard, and of course now he's injured, so there is a pretty good possibility that next month San Jose may move up a spot and Chicago may move down. It depends on how the month goes. But San Jose is not playing well to start off, so we'll find out if that actually happens. But the Sharks are playing the Flyers soon, I will say that. But anyways, the Blackhawks, yeah, as I said in the last video, the last power rankings, you just want to keep going. Keep going through the rebuild, see if there's any tradable players that you can move at the trade deadline. There's not a whole lot if there's any, but still, you got to look at your options, you got to utilize them, and that's probably the route that they should go. Number 30 is the Anaheim Ducks. They went 4-9 in December for a 13-23-0 record overall. Anaheim, again, pretty much the same thing. I thought there was going to be some improvement, but they just seem to be the same as they were. I don't know what that was, sorry. Acquiring Cutter Gauthier obviously helps out the team. I know that was, a few days ago, but still, definitely, you have a pretty solid prospect pool coming up. You got some guys who have come up and played well, looked positive. Hopefully, this is the last year where they're really bad, and now they should start improving next season. I said that last season, but next season they should, or you may need to make some other really big changes when it comes to the Anaheim Ducks. Number 29, the first team of the Eastern Conference is the Ottawa Senators. The Senators went 6-9 in December for a 14-18-0 record. That's actually not the worst. That's not the worst record overall when you look at the overall just numbers. But those 9 losses and what we've seen so far in 2024, even though I'm not counting this in that, is very painful. This team just can't seem to figure it out. And obviously, too, they've scratched the entire DJ Smith system. So, of course, the team's going to be a little bit different for a while. And that's kind of just what we're expecting. I don't think they're going to be that great. So, it's just it just is how it is. They're going to be the way they are. And, they're just got to ride it out to the end of the season. Number 28 is the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets actually didn't do too bad this month, but I didn't move them up a lot because they're still not a great team. They went 5-5-4 in December. Not really bad for them. Almost basically 500 for a 12-18-8 record overall. So Columbus, it seems like there's some more positive spots to this team than there was last year, but still, they're still in a losing spot. I've seen a lot of people say that the issue isn't the forward core now, it's the defense. And maybe the coaching, too, is an issue as well. But I mean, you want to see improvement. We've seen some this year. The hope is that next year, a few more tweaks to that defense, and maybe they'll be a solid team next year. I mean, with Ivan Provorov on your blue line, are you really going to be that good? No shit at Provorov. I'm kidding. It's just my Flyers fan in me. But yeah, Columbus, they're pretty much where they're expected to be. Number 27 is the Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres went 5-8-2 in December for a 15-19-4 record overall. They don't really look that far out, but like at the same time, they look really far out of it. The team with pretty much the same roster can't seem to pick up much of their momentum. So it just looks like it's going to be yet again another year where they're out of the playoffs. And I saw something today that said that the Sabres pretty much lost the city of Buffalo, and I honestly agree with it. And I saw like a tweet that was saying about how this team is losing fans every single year, every single game. And yeah, it seems like that's the mentality right now, which is unfortunate. But hopefully eventually they will make the playoffs because it's just been so long without them in a playoff spot. It'd be nice to see them in one again, for sure. Number 26 is the Montreal Canadiens. The Canadiens, even though they're this low, you shouldn't be really that negative on them because they're not that bad of a team. They went 5-5-3 in December for 13-16-5 record overall. So again, another 500 team. I didn't want to move them up to like number 18 or like number 16 and put them around there where some of the other 500 teams are. Mainly because just like if I did that, then like I would be moving. There would be like drastic movement between every single power ranking. And I don't want to make it like that. I want to make it pretty obvious that the bad teams are going to stay where they are. Well, the not very good teams are going to stay where they are. But Montreal, they've been competitive. We honestly could see them in the playoffs. Even though they're ranked this low, we could see them in the playoffs. It's just that wide open right now, and it's that competitive in the Eastern Conference. And Montreal, they just keep picking up enough wins and enough points to really keep themselves in the race. And I mean, hey, I like what I'm seeing. We'll see how long it lasts. Number 25 is the Calgary Flames. The Flames went 5-6-2 in December for a 15-16-5 record. They are low, but they're still in it. They're absolutely still in it. The Flames playing, kind of I mean, Huberdeau has recently looked really good, but in the month of December, it was a brutal month for him. He only had 1 point. So just overall, Calgary's got to figure that out. There's other things they need to figure out too. And the trade board for TSN, I believe, came out today. And there were a few Calgary Flames that were top 5 or top 10 on that list. So I expect for them to be for sure sellers at this year's trade deadline. By the way, in the month of February, it will be a full month of just trade deadline stuff. We're gonna talk about every single team's trade deadline preview. Probably every single day. I'll go from the 1st to the 28th. There may be a few that end up in March, but still, we're going to try and cover as many of them as we possibly can. Maybe I'll put it in a random order just for fun. Who knows? But yeah, Calgary should be a team that sells for sure. A team that won't sell is number 24, and that's the Detroit Red Wings. Now, even though they're not really in that great of a spot, yeah, they probably won't sell. They'll probably keep most of their guys. They may sell off a few guys, but they probably won't keep. They probably will keep most of them. The Red Wings had a brutal month in December. A brutal month. They went 5-9-1 for a 17-16-4 record overall. At the end of November, things were looking great. At the end of November, the Red Wings were in such a great spot. They had a pretty solid record, but then December came and it was just brutal. Goaltending issues, injuries, blowing leads constantly. It was just like all in all not a great month for Detroit. They seem to have turned it around though a little bit in the month of January so far. I know we're almost halfway through the month, but still they've seemed to have turned it around a little bit. But obviously you still want to see some improvement with the Red Wings there and some of those teams as well. Number 23 is the St. Louis Blues. The Blues went 6-8 in December for an 18-17-1 record overall. I'd say that's a pretty solid spot for the Blues. The Blues fired their coach in the month of December, and definitely under the new coach, they've looked solid. They've still staying in the race. They're still in the wild card spots. Obviously still fighting for them. It seems really competitive this year, and I've said that in multiple videos. It seems really competitive on the Eastern Conference side, but also on the Western Conference side. There may be a team that maybe shouldn't be in the playoffs that makes the playoffs this year. So it's going to be really interesting to see what amounts of that, though. But yeah, St. Louis at 23. We'll see how this month goes for them. It's a big month for them, though. Number 22, the Washington Capitals. The Capitals went 5-5-4 in December for a 17-11-6 record overall. They're still in a really good spot. They still have a really high record and a solid area. But there were a lot of flaws that I've seen in their game this past month that kind of make me think that maybe in the month of January or even in the month of February, depending on when this happens, or if this happens, in fact, they might fall off. They look like a team that just when the scoring dries up, they can't seem to win games besides when their goaltending plays well. Just they get outshot, they shoot it, they score at the right time, oddly, but they win games. It's just really weird. Although there is that, they still can be a solid team, and they can still make the playoffs. I think they still have a great roster. Ovechkin seems to be playing much better lately now that he's broken that drought that he was in. For sure. So I hope the Capitals do continue with that. Number 21, the Seattle Kraken. I know the Kraken seem to be a little bit low on this list. The Kraken actually went 6-4-3 in the month of December, but that was because they went on like a 7-8 game losing streak, and then they went on like a 4-game losing streak to end off the year, or a 4-game winning streak to end off the year. I will say this. Next month they will be much higher. They have been playing some great hockey in the month of January. But in December, obviously the 8-game losing streak didn't help. But in the end, they looked pretty solid. And right now they look great. So they could be the team that comes up and sneaks into a playoff spot. They've just been looking so red hot lately. And I may make a video on them soon too. There's a few teams that I want to make videos on for sure. So expect those in the coming days. Number 20, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Penguins had a pretty good month. They went 7-3-3 for an 18-13-4 record overall. They've seemed to find their groove. In the month of November, things weren't all too great. Neither was the start of the season in October. But now in the month of December and so far through January, they seem to have played well, really found their stride, and just overall, I think they're definitely going to be a really solid team in this month and in the coming months. So yeah, even though they are kind of ranked a little bit lower on my list, for sure they will be higher next month if they keep up the way they're playing right now. Number 19 is the Arizona Coyotes. The Coyotes, again, they pissed me off. They went 8-5 in December for a 19-14-2 record overall. People are going to complain with me because they're this low. I understand that, and I totally get that because obviously, I'm a fan of the Coyotes. Maybe I'm a little bit too hard on them, but what I need to see is some goddamn consistency. I said that in November. I said that in my video with the Coyotes. I have said that everywhere. I've said you just need consistency. They are like the most inconsistent team in the National Hockey League. They'll win a game, they lose a game. They'll win a game, they lose a game. They win 4, they lose 5. They win 6, they lose 7. It's just, they obviously haven't lost 7. But that's just that feels like how it is for the Coyotes. And it just is so aggravating to watch. Now, even though it's aggravating, I'm still happy they're getting a lot better. They look like they could make the playoffs this year. If they get hot at the right time, they could make the playoffs. But yeah, obviously they're just below the top 16. But hopefully they will be higher this coming month. But I need to see some more consistency and some better offense too. And the goaltending's been great. Connor Ingram's been awesome. Vejmelka's been great. If we do decide to say, hey, maybe we should sell, it wouldn't be a bad idea to move those players. Number 18 is the Minnesota Wild. The Wild are currently, they went 9-5 in December for a 16-15-4 record overall. I believe it was either the beginning or the end of the beginning of December or the end of November when they fired Evason and brought in Hines. A lot of people hated it, but honestly, it's done pretty good for them. They've done very solid since he's come in. And even in the month of January, too, they've been pretty solid. But they may have lost a lot and enough at the beginning of the season that puts them out of the playoffs when they try and push in the coming months. Again, there's a lot of time left. We're only halfway through the season, but still, you don't want to lose ground in some of these divisions for sure. So definitely, that's what I'm looking at there. If I'm Minnesota. Number 17, the New York Islanders. The Islanders did pretty good this month. 8-3-3 in December for a 17-10-9 record overall. I thought they played awesome. Obviously, there were a lot of overtime games in there, which I do factor into when I make these rankings. I know people complain about, oh, why are the Islanders so low on all your lists? Because they have so many overtime games. If they didn't have overtime games, they'd be way higher. But just those games where they go to extra time and either they get the extra point or they just win in overtime. I don't count those as regular games a lot more for sure. So definitely that plays a factor. But yeah, they're good. They're a really good team this year. Not denying that whatsoever. Number 16, rounding out your starting your top 16 now. You have the Nashville Predators. The Predators went 9-4-1 in December for a 20-16-1 record overall. Nashville looks great in the month of December. They looked really good. I think they're really building up this core, and maybe they're just going, maybe this competitive rebuild's going to work out. Like, honestly, because there are some guys, Forsberg's playing great. He's looking like an elite player. O'Reilly's playing solid. Nyquist looks solid. There are other players that look good, too. But really, there are some young guys on this roster who are making a really big impact. Parsonen, Evangelista. There are guys on that team that look pretty solid. And definitely I'm hoping for that to continue with Nashville because they're always a team that I kind of always forget, but I've always liked at the same time too. So I hope that continues. And of course, Jose Saros there too. His numbers haven't been that great this year. They've been a little bit pedestrian. But still, obviously, he's still a great goalie. There's no doubt there. Number 15, the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning had their good moments and their bad moments in the month of December. They went 8-6 for an 18-15-5 record overall. They had some spots where they were bad. I do want to make a video on them soon. I was going to make one, but then I got sick. So I do want to make a video on them soon, too. There's so many teams I want to make videos on. Tomorrow is when I really start getting content and grinding that back up. Because last week I was half-assing videos, and I was posting shorts, too. I couldn't with my voice. But now I can. The Lightning are one of the first teams I want to talk about. So maybe expect them in a video tomorrow. I'm not entirely too sure. But yeah, the Bolts... the hope is that last night they had a really good win against the Kings. But the hope is that in January it'll be a way better month for them for sure. Number 14 is the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Leafs went 5-4-4 in December for a 17-10-7 record overall. Toronto, there was a lot of struggles this month. This was not a great month for them. Pretty much 500. There were problems with the goaltending. Wall got injured. Samsonov came in, and it was just not there. It was just not there. He would let in 4, 5, 6 goals in starts. It just was not there for him. And they would lose to teams they should be beating. A lot of overtime games fit in there too. So obviously that plays a factor. But, you want them to get better in the month of January. They did. Martin Jones looks great. However, they did call up Samsonov today. So we'll find out what happens there. But yeah, Toronto, just want to see more improvement, more consistency. And I know there's a lot of complaints there with them. I believe they're in the same spot, though, actually. Number 13 is a team that has risen a lot. October, they were down in the bottom 4. November, they were in the bottom 16. December, they are in the top 16. It's the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers are number 13. They had a 9-3 record in December for an 18-15-1 record overall. Yeah, this team's making the playoffs. They seem red hot. And I said it so many times in videos. Yeah, if there was any team that was going to make their way out of this, it was going to be the Oilers. And they could be a team that, hey, they're hot right now. They're hot at the right time right now. It's possible that they stay hot till the end of the season and into the playoffs, and they go all the way. I'm not saying they're like a Blues, but they have really good odds of that happening. So I really like that direction overall for Edmonton. And I hope this continues because it's been great to watch. McDavid probably going to win the Hart Trophy if he keeps playing the way he's playing. Just the overall skill from him. He's gonna get it this year for sure. Number 12 is the New Jersey Devils. The Devils had a much better month than in November. They went 8-4-1 in December for a 19-14-2 record overall. I like the Devils. They're playing much better this month. It seems like, there is still some flaws there, but I think that when Hughes and Heischer are here, this team's pretty great. There are a lot of injuries on this team, though, that I do want to make a video on soon, so expect that as well. I'm just listing off so many teams that I want to make videos on. But yeah, expect some videos from those teams very soon, for sure. But yeah, the Devils are definitely a team that I want to talk about, and they had a pretty good month, so kudos to them. Number 11 is the Florida Panthers. Florida went 8-5 in December for a 22-12-2 record overall. Florida had a great month. There were some games in there where, they lost, but still, they had a really good month. Played very solid, in my opinion. And just, they're still a really solid team, and when I thought they wouldn't be good, they're pretty good. I know I had them like 7th in my division rankings. I said they were going to fall off. Never doubting Florida again. I learned to never doubt teams again. It's awesome. My logic is great, isn't it? But anywho, number 10, moving into the top 10, is actually my Philadelphia Flyers. And I hesitated a lot in putting them this high because I still don't. It's so hard for me to believe in them. But the Flyers, they are 8-2-3 in December for a 19-12-5 record at the halfway point. They're starting to fall off a little bit. I understand that. But still, the Flyers playing really great. They played awesome in the month of December. Everything looked awesome. Everything that could have gone right pretty much went right for them. They were winning plenty of games, won a lot of games in a row. It took until basically the midway mark in December for them to lose in regulation. To lose, period, actually, I think, too. It was a really good month for the Flyers. So, yeah, I hope that continues as a Flyers fan, and I'm really excited to see the overall direction of just where this team goes. Because if they fall off, then it's okay. But if they make the playoffs, oh, man. I don't really know what I expect, to be honest with you. Number 9, and they are surging. They are back, is the Carolina Hurricanes. Hurricanes went 7-5-3 in December for a 20-13-4 record overall. They will probably be higher next month when I do this again. But yeah, they look awesome right now, without question. Everything seems to be panning out. Aho's playing really good. Kochetkov seems to have found his own in net, which is awesome to see. Svechnikov seems to be heating up lately. Natchez is playing well. The whole team looks good right now, and they're back from that little early season struggle they had. They have returned. Number 8, they've been dropping a lot, and they're probably continuing to drop. It's the Vegas Golden Knights. They went 7-5-1 in December for a 22-10-5 record overall. That month was a struggle for them, and January has been too. I think this is a point where, they're going through a lot of struggles. It's a section in the season where games are really clumped together. There's injuries on this Knights team too. Definitely, there's teams that go through rough patches. I think this is one of them for Vegas. The hope is, though, they will turn it around in the month of January for sure, and I hope it continues for them. But yeah, Vegas, hopefully things go right for them. Number 8. You're right, number 7 is the Los Angeles Kings. I can't read. The Kings, they went 7-4-2 in December for a 28-5 record overall. Now, I know things don't look good right now for LA in January. January has not been a great month for the Kings, but December was. December, they had a really good month. I made a video on them. It's the most viewed video in channel history now. They look really solid. They looked great in January in December. Sorry. And obviously, I know January hasn't been a great month for them, but still, they're a really solid team. Teams go through rough patches. People have brought up the Dubois numbers. There's so many teams I need to make videos on. But yeah, LA, the Dubois numbers, they're only bad when the team's bad. When the team is good, they're pretty much unnoticeable, basically. But yeah, the Kings definitely looking for some improvement in the coming weeks, for sure. Number 6, the Boston Bruins. The Bruins, another team here that they went through a rough patch in December, but they're still ranked really high. Boston went 7-4-3 in December for a 22-7-6 record overall. The goaltending really carried them through this month, and when the goaltending wasn't carrying them, it was pretty obvious it wasn't. There were points in the month where they didn't look too good. I didn't move them down that much though because of it. They're still a really solid team in my book. And the hope is that will just continue. And hopefully they'll come out of this. They looked better recently. In the last week or two, they've looked better. But still, I need to see some more improvement for them before they go back to that midseason form that they had in November and in October as well. But yeah, Boston, they're in the right spot. Number 5, the Colorado Avalanche. The Avalanche went, they went 8-5-2 in December for a 23-11-3 record overall. The Avalanche, they look great. There were some struggles. Again, another team that struggled a little bit midway through the month, but they're still a good team. Like there's just some midseason woes. Devon Tays comes out and says that there are some players in the team that they may think they're playing great, but they're not. Obviously, that plays a factor too. That's things to figure out with Colorado, but still, they're a really good team, and I expect them to stay that way. Number 4 is the Dallas Stars. The Stars had a solid month too, 9-4-1 in December for a 22-9-4 record overall. Dallas, deserving of where they are. They've looked great, and hopefully things continue that way. Ottinger being out, though, does really affect them, and Wedgwood, through the end of December and through the first week of January, you could kind of tell that he was being overplayed a lot, and now Matt Murray's played a little bit, got a shutout, in fact, so hopefully things continue like that for Dallas, but yeah, December was a great month for them. Number 3, is the New York Rangers. I believe the Rangers were first in November and actually may have been first in October. But they dropped to 3, and that's of no disappointment of their own. I thought teams had better months. They went 9-5-0 for a 25-9-1 record overall. They're still a really great team. There's no question about it. Panarin looks great. Quick and Shesterkin look great. The roster as a whole looks great. Zibanejad seems to be improving a lot. Just overall, the team's playing well. Hopefully things continue like that for them. Recently, though, it's been a little bit of a struggle, but still, they're a solid team. I expect that to continue. Again, as I said for multiple teams in this video, teams will go through stretches where they don't look good. It's an 82-game season. That obviously happens. But yeah, the Rangers are just another example of that. Number 2, if you told me these teams will be 2-1 in my December power rankings in October, I would have laughed in your face. No joke. Is the Vancouver Canucks 8-2-2 in December for a 23-10-3 record overall at the end of December. Canucks looked great. I know there are going to be people in this comment section that argue that the Canucks should be number 1. It's definitely an argument, definitely a debate you can make. But I viewed a team that I thought played way better than them. But Vancouver looked awesome. Pettersson looks great. Miller looks great. I made a video on them a few weeks ago. And just overall, the team looks awesome. And they could be the team that wins the President's Trophy. Who knows? And finally, number 1, with a 10-1-2 record in the month of December, is the Winnipeg Jets. They lost once. They lost once in regulation in the month of December. That is unreal. And I can't put any team above them with that. They lost once in regulation. Every other game they gained points in. At least 1 point they gained. So the Winnipeg Jets, a very solid team right now, playing awesome. They're first in the NHL, I believe. I want to make a video on the Jets soon. I'm probably going to as well. They may be my team that I make first. But yeah, just it's hard to rank any team above the Jets because of how well they're playing. So yeah, that is my December 2023 power rankings. Apologies for the lateness. Apologies for this too, by the way. Been just organizing loads of hockey cards. That's fun. But, I always love to do that. But anywho, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. Hit that subscribe button down below. I greatly appreciate it. Again, apologize for the delay with my sickness. It obviously prevented this from coming out earlier. But now it's out, so enjoy it. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.